If you want to become a great facilitator, you need to level up your facilitation game. In today's episode, I'm going to break down the different levels you need to go through to move from a total beginner to actually becoming an expert facilitator. This episode is going to be very practical. Expect a bunch of tips for each level so that you know exactly what to do to level up your game and to move to the next level. Let's level up. Welcome to another day, another workshop. My name is Mehdi. I'm your host. I've been workshopping for the last 5 years for any type of companies. In today's episode, we're going to talk about my favorite game, Facilitation. I like to see Facilitation as a game, and in every game, the goal is to level up. You need to improve your character so that you can move on to the next level. So for example, when I look back at my journey, as I said, I've been facilitating workshops for the last 5 years, but I've done a lot of mistakes in my first years. I do my first workshop and it's great and I fell in love with it. And then I went all in. I was like consuming podcasts like Jake and Jonathan, Workshop Works. I was reading books. I was doing trainings. I was trying to practice right away. I had no plan and it was too much and it was a bit overwhelming. If I could go back, I would change things. And since then, I've been helping facilitators. I've been coaching my own team to improve their facilitation game. And I came up with a bit of a different milestone you need to go through to become actually a workshop expert. Let's break down the different levels. So the first thing that you need to do, like in every game, you've seen a trailer, you've seen an ad, is like, it looks really cool, I want to play this game. And it's the same for facilitation. So maybe you've been on LinkedIn, maybe you've been on YouTube and you've seen a video of a workshop or you've seen a post about it and like, oh, this looks really cool. This is what I want to do. So this is what you want to try. The first thing then is to press start. Are you going to love the game? So the question I want to ask to you when you want to press start is facilitation the right thing for me? To answer this question, what I would advise you is to talk with a real facilitator. So if you have someone in your network, or maybe you can go on LinkedIn and try to find one and ask him questions. Because, you know, when it's a new thing, everything looks great. Everything looks fancy. You're falling in love, so everything is perfect, right? This is the honeymoon phase. But there are also things that are not super nice in the facilitation. Like in every job, there is like bad aspects. If you ask me, I would tell you like, I don't like to summarize my workshop. I don't like to clean the room. It can be very tiring to do workshops. So I don't know if you're 1 week, you have like several workshops, the client has no budget for a co-facilitator. It's all you by yourself. Man, it can be heavy. It can be very energy draining. So you need to know those things so that you could assess if facilitation is the right thing for you. So this is what I would advise you to do, is talk with a facilitator, ask him question. What do you like about the job? What you don't like? What is the thing that makes it very not pleasant to work as a facilitator, so that you have an honest feedback, so that you know where you're going through and you will be able to assess if it's something for you. So that's the first tip I want to give you. Also, if you can have the chance to attend a workshop as a participant, this could be very nice, because then you will be able to see from yourself if it's something you will like. Again, there are risks if the facilitator isn't perfect, if it's a tricky workshop, but still, like, seeing things will make them more practical, like more real. So you will have almost a real image of what a facilitator can be. This is the first step. You want to see if facilitation is the right thing for you, and you want to press start. Then you want to start playing, and then you are like entering level 1. And what is level 1? What you want to do is to build up a solid foundation. The mistake I've made was I consumed too much content. I've consumed too much resources. I was reading books. I was listening to podcasts, and it was too much. And also, it's not just that it was too much. Sometimes you have conflicting resources, things that are not going hands in hands, but you don't have the experience, you don't have the practical experience to see if those things are a good or a bad thing. So you need to take that into consideration to make sure you invest your time in the right way. I think the biggest mistake people make is that they learn. First, if you don't go into practice very fast, all those knowledge is going to go to the garbage because it's not going to be used and it's going to be forgotten, or it's going to pollute your brain. And this is why I would always advise, like, just pick one resource, pick one book, pick one training, and then go deep into the one thing that you picked. So what are the main things you should remember? And then you can move on to the level 2. And also, if you're interested, I will put in the show notes or in the description resource guide. So I've created a facilitation resource guide that is a summary of this episode so that you have all the information for each of the levels, but you will also have access to a bunch of resources for each of the level. Most of them are free. Sometimes there are paid resources. There are the courses, the books that I've really liked. So I just put it there. Feel free to download it. So level 2 is don't wait to get your stickies dirty. I know it can be very comforting to keep learning, and you will always feel like I need more information. I need to read that book. I need another training. And in my belief, it's just a way of procrastinating the real work, which is you getting your hands dirty, practicing to actually seeing if you really like it. And this is why I advise you not to invest too much in trainings, in books, because the only way to know if you really like it is doing it. Okay, you have this perfect image of the job. All right, you had a discussion with a facilitator. You have a more honest image of what it could look like. But now you need to see it from yourself. And the only way to answer this question is actually seeing if you like it. Don't wait to be fully ready, just do it. Now, I know you're wondering, like, how can I have this opportunity to practice so fast? So again, if you know a facilitator, I would advise you, like, offer your help and to be his co-facilitator, so that you are helping, you are doing a bit of the craft, but you don't have all the pressure that comes with the first opportunity. Again, what you want to do is to make it interesting for them. Meaning, suppose, like, I can help you design the Miro board if it's a remote workshop. I can help you summarize the output of the workshop. Like, propose to do help that is maybe less sexy for the main facilitator, so that there is a real interest and a win-win to work with you and to give you the chance to practice with him. So this is maybe a tactic that you could do. Something else I would advise you is to hijack one of your meetings. So again, I don't know, you just finished a project, you can ask to the team, hey guys, maybe we can do a lessons learned, we can do a retrospective. Let me facilitate this retrospective. And you don't even need to mention the name Facilitate Workshop. You can just say, hey guys, I'm going to prepare something so that we can really gather the main lessons learned, so that we can avoid making those mistakes again. And I will do the prep and you just need to show up. And this is more than okay. What can you do is, like, maybe you're going to start a new project. So maybe you can facilitate a kickoff, or maybe you can just hijack a weekly meeting where, I don't know, it's always difficult to get next steps. And it's like, okay guys, for the next step, maybe we could do a simple exercise called note and vote. What are the next steps we should do? Write it down on a sticky note, one next step per sticky note. And then we're going to vote so that we go faster, and we know that those things would need to happen after the meeting. So those are tactics that you could do, but it's really important to practice very fast. First, this is the only way to really learn what you've just seen in the theory. But more importantly, this is the moment where you're going to validate if you really like being a facilitator. Now you're ready to move to level 3. Level 3 basically is to take it to the real world. Meaning, how can you have a real experience? How you can have a real workshop with real stakes to facilitate? Because, like before, the practice you had, it was in a safe environment. It was with colleagues. They had no expectations or very low expectations, because most of meetings sucks, or didn't even see that you were trying to do something specific or special. Here, you want the pressure. You want people that would expect something from you because you told them that you will deliver this output or this outcome. And this is really important, because this is where you're going to grow even more, because you're removing the safety net. I was lucky enough to have a mentor. I was facilitating with him. And most of the time in the beginning, I was co-facilitator. He was giving me small activities, but it's really the moment where we left the companies that I was having all those real stakes, and there was no other way than me showing up and doing the work, pleasing clients, and this was super beneficial for my own growth. This is why you want to remove safety nets. Here are some tactics, because I know you're wondering like, but Mehdi, how can I have a real opportunity while I don't have that many experience? So what you want to do is to offer your work for free. Okay? I know I just lost some of you. Is like, I'm not going to work for free. See this as an investment. This is like a training that you're buying, and I think this is the best training that you can buy, because like you actually grow with practicing. So it's you investing in your work. And then you're going to reach out to startups, to NGOs, because those type of organizations have limited resources. So if you give them the chance to have access to a real workshop, to actually solving one of their problems, it's going to be nice. There are more chances they're going to say yes, and you are going to have a real opportunity. You can even reach out to corporates, come with the same pitch, and it's even better if they accept. Why? Because if they come back to you afterwards, you can say, listen, I cannot do this for free anymore, but I can do it with this rate. And they will coming back to you because first they've experienced it the first time, they've seen it work, they were happy about the collaboration, they want more. So it's a great opportunity for you. And even if they don't come back, you have a great testimonial from the startup, from the NGO, from the corporate, saying it was nice working with Mark. Mark helped us achieve this in such a short amount of time. It was impressive. So at the end of this first free service, which is an investment of your time, you will have a testimonial, real practice, and again, you will see even more if you like what you're doing and if it makes sense to go deeper. Just a small warning, it's not because it's free that people will say yes. 𝗪𝗪𝗁 says in his amazing book, The $1 Million Offer, that most of the time, your price is not the biggest cost. I mean, like, if we take the example of a corporate, they have so many things to do. Their time is very valuable. So if they say no, it's just because maybe they don't have the time to work for you, even if it's free. So keep this in mind. Make propositions that are really hard to say no. Make your homework, etc. We move from level 3 to level 10. Why? Because you're going to do this again and again and again. You want to practice more and more so that you come to a certain level. All right? And level 10, this is what you want to do most of the time, is that you want to acquire more knowledge. You want to invest in other trainings, more advanced trainings. And this is basically going deeper into the craft. Remember, so what is really important is that no matter the type of trainings you're going to take, you want to reduce the time between theory to the practice. So again, I would advise you, like, you get one training, you really make your homework, understand like what you should remember, how you're going to use those tips to improve your facilitation game, and then practice and see from yourself if the activity you just learned, if the technique you just learned is actually working with you, working for your client, etc. One resource at a time. Going to advanced resources. There are so many great out there. Again, in my resource guide, you will have examples of resources on that level. Let's move on to the next level. And I think this one is a really important one. So the milestone is basically you want to master the mechanics of facilitation. It's level 20. Basically, you want to reach the level like it's driving a car. In the beginning, when you're going to design a workshop and you're going to facilitate it, you're going to think about a lot of things. Oh man, I need to put a timer for this. I need to put the music. I need to give the sticky notes. I need to give dots. How many dots should I need? I'm behind my schedule. How am I going to adapt my agenda? So it's taking a lot of energy from you. All right. So you have less energy to focus on what really matters, the content of the workshop. And here the secret, and I'm sorry, there is no magic pill. It's just practicing. You're going to practice so much that it's going to become a muscle memory. You're going to have muscle memory, and then you will be able to go into this workshop and like you're driving your car. You know exactly what time this activity will take. You know exactly how much dots you will give based on the number of sticky notes you see in front of you. And this is what you want to do. This is a big milestone. I could see it for myself. The moment I was not focusing on those mechanics anymore, I could really bring more value to my clients, to the participant, because I had more mental energy to focus on the content of the workshop. And this is the next level. When you move from level 20 to level 30, it's about connecting deeper with the topic. Because you have so much mental capacity now, you want to digest every information they give you. And don't get me wrong, I know probably that you were already focused on the content of the client. Obviously, I mean, this is how you design the session. But it's just like the level of intensity. You're able to digest every sticky notes, like this information is important. You are engaging way more in the interaction with your clients. And again, there is nothing wrong by just focusing on the mechanics. It will come naturally. But I can tell you, like, just bringing the right mechanics will bring a lot of amazing results to your clients. But the moment you invest more of your energy in trying to connect with every piece of information, wow, it's a real game changer. What you want to do is really ask yourself some of those questions, like, how can I make it easier for the group to make decisions? What examples will resonate most with the group and the activity? What info or context do they need to move forward? So let me give you an example. You're in a workshop and they are struggling. They are going to make a decision that you believe is not the right one. What you want to do is like, okay, guys, you've said like, this is really important for you. This is the goal you want to reach. Do you believe that if we go in option A and you re-explain option A, that we are going to achieve the goal we've just decided to reach, which is blah, 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 blah. And then you will create those discussions. And then you are able to bring each time the right information to the table so that they are able to process better and to make better decisions. Now we want to move to level 40. Explore new things and keep experimenting. The thing that you want to do is never stop learning. I've done some stand-up comedy, and in stand-up, like the way it works, to have a great joke, you need to test it. So you go to a gig, you give your joke and you see where people laugh and do they laugh, and you only keep the right stuff. But sometimes then you are able each time to come and tell the same joke and you will get the same result, people laugh. And what I've learned from this is like, I don't learn from just repeating the same joke each time. Let me experiment something. Let me try a different punchline. Let me try a different intonation. Let me try something else. Not like I can keep improving the same joke. And I kept that principle into my facilitation game. Each time I'm going to have a workshop, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try a new activity. I'm going to try a new icebreaker. I'm going to try a new technique. I'm going to try a new exercise. This keeps it fresh for you, but also like you could then improve your facilitation toolkit, because at that stage you will have a certain facilitation toolkit that you want to improve, right? I'm always surprised that after so many years, still there are activities that are taking and stealing the place of ones that I've been using for 2 or 3 years. So this is my advice. Keep experimenting, try new things, and for each workshop, you need to try one thing at least. I think in the beginning, what's going to happen is that it's going to be obvious which type of resource you need to invest on to improve your facilitation game. I know I need to be good in asking good questions. I need to be good in managing energy in the room. I need to be good into balancing different type of personalities, etc., etc. Those are the obvious skills of a facilitator. But when you're going to improve your game, what you want to do is like investigate things that are more further of the core skills, like the ones I've been investing in myself. Storytelling. How can I tell better stories? How can I give better examples? How can I speak better in public? So I've done an amazing training on story brand framework. Great book. By the way, there is a book and there is also a training. I really recommend it. Other skills can be like experience design. I've actually recorded an episode with 𝗪𝗵𝗁, which is one of the reference in the field on that topic. We also have like visual recording, 𝗬𝗵𝗽𝗁 trainings. If you want to improve the creative aspect of your workshop, summarize the thoughts and the ideas with nice visuals, this can be done as well. And again, it brings something else to your workshop. So basically, you want to keep learning, you want to keep it fresh by experimenting new things so that you also stay ahead of the game. Now you're going to move to level 50, connect with your peers. So I'm not saying that this shouldn't be done before. As you know, I had a mentor that allowed me to gain a lot of time in my facilitator journey. I was connected to some of the community through the courses I've done. So this helped me a lot. But if you didn't have the chance to do it before, do it now. This is such a powerful tool, especially since the community of facilitation is such a great place to learn from others. People are very generous. People are more than happy to connect, so take advantage of it. Join a community, find a mentor, find another body that are at the same level so that you can learn from each other. It's gonna be better for your investment and your career. So last level is the level 100, is that the game is never over. You want to keep learning, you want to keep investing in yourself, because this is the only way to stay ahead of the game. You know, people always ask me, 𝗪𝗍, how can I sell my workshops? And there are so many things that you can do to sell your workshop. The first thing is actually being good at your job. You want to deliver amazing workshop. More than a workshop, you want to deliver experiences. So what are the things that you need to learn in your journey to be able to please the client at that level? So this is the foundation. If you want to do that, you need to keep investing in yourself, keep it exciting. So if you always do the same stuff, it's gonna get boring. This is why you want to still invest in your job, invest in your growth, try new things so that it keeps fresh and engaging and refreshing to do. What I would just add, remember what you want to do. There is the one takeaway. You want to reduce the time between when you learn something new and you get to practice. And the only way to be the best in your craft is to practice, 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 so that you build this muscle memory, so that you see more different angles, explore more different groups, so that you have those experiences to guide and make better decisions in your next workshops. This was another day, another workshop. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So don't forget, in the show notes, in the description, you will have the Facilitator's Corner resource guide that you can download. You will have a bunch of tips for each of the levels. It's basically a summary of the podcast episode of today, and you will have access to a bunch of resources. Most of them are free, so that you're able to level up your game. I wish you a very nice day, very nice evening, whatever the moment you're listening to this, and give a thumbs up if you like the episode. Bye-bye.